Hello everyone, in this video here today, this will be another request video, and in this video I will be doing Japanese, and this, one of my subscribers, he wanted me to talk about the tenses in Japanese. He just started learning Japanese and I guess he needs some help on tenses, so he requested me to make a video on tenses. So this video will be beneficial for not only him, but for those of you who are just starting off learning Japanese. So I will give you some pretty good details on how to go about practicing these tenses and how they work. Okay, so first of all, let me go ahead and adjust my camera here. Let's see. Okay, I hope that's all right. So can't display. All right, hope that's viewable. All right, so the first thing we're gonna look at, I have these three groups here. Okay, three groups I've decided to use, and the first group here will be, I'll call it the bu-mu-nu group. Okay, this is the name. You have the bu-mu-nu group. You have the ru group and the ku group. Okay. Now in the bu-mu-nu group, the bu-mu-nu group is kind of it's a bit unique here because in this group here, when you talk about the present tense, it's kind of different here in the bu-mu-nu group. Now the present tense in Japanese, essentially, it will be the te. It will be this te imasu. That's like present ongoing. I believe that's the right word in English. Present ongoing. The te imasu. So that's like the present. You're doing something. You're in the middle of doing something. So essentially, it's te imasu. Now in the bu-mu-nu group, it won't be the te. It's going to be like a nde. It will be like a nde. Nde. Ndeimasu. So like the last letter, like bu-mu-nu, we have manabu. That ends with the bu. That means to study, to learn. Nomu ends with the mu. That means to drink. And shinu ends with the nu. And that means to die. So these are all in these words. They're all in the present. Not present, but they're all in the dictionary, plain dictionary form. They're all plain dictionary form. So when you look up all the verbs in Japanese, they will all be in a plain form, or we can call them infinitives. Okay. So nde teimasu. Now the ku group it still would take the it still would teimasu. You will see that is a teimasu also. So let me go ahead and erase this because I need the space here. So let's start off with the bu-mu-nu, and we wanna let's use the present tense. Okay, so manabu. I told you manabu means to learn, to study. So I want to say I am studying Japanese. So we can say let's see. Okay, so watashi wa nihongo wo manande imasu. Watashi wa nihongo wo manande imasu. So here's the right here is where it happens. Manande imasu. Okay, and this is the kanji for manabu. For those of you who don't know. So manabu. So essentially manabu becomes manande. Manande imasu. Manandeimasu. Okay? Manandeimasu. So as you can see, manandeimasu from manamu manabu mean? Manabu? Turn it to ndeimasu. So what you're going to do is take the last letter here, and it's going to be n. They're all going to turn into a n. So manandeimasu, nondeimasu, shindeimasu. Okay? So manandeimasu, I am studying. Now, if you want to, let's say, what about the past? What about the past? You could say, well, we'll use the same sentence, but I'll just write the verb here in the past tense. So, watashi wa nihongo wo, you would say, watashi wa nihongo wo manabimashita. Watashi wa nihongo wo manabimashita. Okay, so it would be ma. So it will be ma manabimashita. Okay, manabimashita. I study. Okay, I study. So if you can also say mananda. You can say mananda. That also means I study, but see here, the mananda is more, it's less formal than manabimashita. So mananda, nda, mananda. So manabimashita, mananda. Watashi wa nihongo wo manandeimasu. I am studying Japanese. Watashi wa nihongo wo manabimashita. I study Japanese. Or you can say watashi wa nihongo wo mananda. Okay. Now, so you have the deimasu, which is ongoing, present ongoing, and then mashita, manabimashita or mananda for past. Now, if you want to say, let's see here, the future tense is pretty simple. All it is the masu form. Like, let's take manabu, manabimasu, or manabu. Okay, so we know manabu. Manabu, we know that's the plain form, right? So manabu is a plain form, and it's casual in speech, less formal. Okay, so manabu, when it's in that form, it can have two meanings. Okay, it can have two meanings. The first meaning, manabu, means to study. Okay, or well, no, not to study. Well, three, I should say. Manabu, to study, because it can act as an infinitive. It also can mean I'm going to study. Manabu, I'm going to study for future tense, or manabu. Let's see, future tense. Manabu, I'm going to study, and I study in general. So if I ask you, what do you do in general? You say I study. Watashi wa manabu. I study in general. So manabu in its plain form means it's in the future tense already, and it's in the future tense already, and it can mean something happening in general. Okay, so manabu. So that's plain. That's a plain form, less formal. And manabimasu is the same meaning. Manabimasu, going to study or study in general. It's just formal. Masu, the masu for so manabimasu. Okay. So that's essentially it. That's what you need to do. Essentially, you need to just make sure you pay attention to the ending of the word and make sure you change it right. Now, in the bumunu group, it's nde. It will change to nde in the present tense. If you use the plain, the casual for past, it would be like nda, mananda, mananda. Okay. So that's it for that. And the same thing happens with these other groups here. Okay, I just wanted to start off with the bumunu group because that's more unique than the others. All right. So I'll just put a few more examples up here using the other groups. So we have, let's take one of these words. We have benkyou suru. Benkyou suru. That means to study or going to study. Remember I told you before, suru It's the ru group. It's, if you look up study in the dictionary, it's going to say benkyo suru. Okay, this is a plain form. So it means going to study or study in general. Taberu. Taberu. That means going to eat or eat in general. Again, it's in the plain, it's a casual, it's less formal. So kuru, to come. Or to come, I'm going to come, or I come in general. So these are all of these words here, they're all in the plain form. They're all in their plain dictionary form. That's one. And then two, they're all in the future tense. They're all in the future tense and doing something in general. So that's the tense they are in. Okay, but you just gotta remember they're less formal than the usual. Okay, so benkyo suru, study. So I want to say studying. We'll say benkyo shiteimasu. Benkyo shiteimasu. So suru becomes a shiteimasu. Shiteimasu. Suru shiteimasu. So that the change happened here. Shiteimasu. Alright? Shiteimasu. Taberu, it means to eat. I'm going to eat, or eat in general. So we want to say eating now. We will say tabeteimasu. Tabeteimasu. Eating now. So eating now, okay. Kuru will be, this is an irregular verb here, so it would change to kiteimasu, coming. We always have irregulars in languages we have to remember. So this kuru here is an irregular, and I believe suru is also an irregular. So kuru will be kiteimasu, coming. Okay, so that's what it is, all in the present tense. Okay, for the ru group. So we did the bumunu group, the ru group, present tense. Oh, we still need to do past here. Okay, so past. Okay, so what we're going to do with past, it's going to be the same as before in the masu form. If you want to use masu form, it'll be mashita. Mashita is always past. Okay, so so let's go back up here. Benkyo shiteimasu. I'm studying. If you want to say I study, it will be benkyo shimashita. Benkyo shimashita. Benkyo shimashita. Benkyo shimashita. Benkyo shimashita. And like I said before, it's already in this present tense, and we already know that in this plain form here, it's already in the future tense, but it's less formal. If you want to make it formal, it will just be, you just have to put the verb into the masu form. So benkyo suru will become benkyo shimasu. So benkyo shimasu will be the formal. And if you want to say the past tense, it will be benkyo shimashita. Benkyo shimashita. Now, what if we want to say, like how we did over here, we said manabu, mananda, the plain past. In the ru group, it will be, suru will be shita. So suru will be shita. Suru will be shita. So if suru will be shita, it will be benkyo shita. Benkyo shita. Benkyo shita. Okay, benkyo shita. I study. This is plain past. Now taberu, what will taberu be? Take a guess. It will be tabeta. 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 For the plain past. Kuru will be kita. Kita. Okay. So this here, these will be the plain past. Now, like I said before, if you want to use the formal way, just put it in the masu, and just remember masu becomes mashita for past. So if we were to use the formal, we'll say benkyo shimashita. Taberu, tabemashita. Kuru, kimashita. Okay? So the ru just drops, and then you just add masu. So that's how that works. Alright, so we have past, plain past, present ongoing, and in the future we talked about. Alright. Okay, so we have one more group, the ku group. So kaku, let's go through the meanings. Kaku means to write. Kaku means to write, going to write, or write in general. This is the less formal. Kiku means to listen. So to listen, going to listen, or listen in general. In the less formal, plain. Iku means to go, or going to go, or go in general. Okay, so we got those out the way. So we want to change these into the masu. So how do we change these into the masu form? So kaku becomes what? Kaku becomes kakimasu. Kakimasu. Kaku becomes kakimasu. Kakimasu. Same meaning, but it's just a formal way. Okay. Kiku kikimasu. 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 Okay. Iku ikimasu. 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 Alright? So that's pretty simple. This ku group, as you can see, there's some sort of a pattern here. The ku becomes a ki in the masu form. So if you want to use masu, the ku is going to essentially become a ki. So kaku becomes kakimasu. Kiku becomes kikimasu. Iku becomes ikimasu. And we already talked about putting the masuke in the past would just be mashita. So kakimashita, kikimashita, ikimashita. Alright? So, now what about the present tense? Okay, what about the present tense? The present tense. Just remember, in the present tense, the ku is going to become an I. You want to see that here. So let's turn kaku into writing. So it will be kaite, kaiteimasu, kaiteimasu, kaiteimasu. And remember before we said teimasu is the present ongoing. So it's still teimasu. I told you that it was still that the ku would take teimasu. This is the bad thing about living near an airport. Okay, so teimasu is present ongoing. Okay, so kaiteimasu. So kaku became kaiteimasu, writing. So the ku becomes an I here. It becomes an I here when you want to put it in the present ongoing. So kaiteimasu. Kiku. What about kiku? It will be kite. Kiteimasu. 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 Iku. Iteimasu. Chisaitsu. Iteimasu. Iteimasu. So going. Kiteimasu. Listening. Kaiteimasu. Writing. So they're all teimasu. But just remember that the ku is going to become I here. So that's what that is there. So we've done the present, we've done the present ongoing, we've done the future. What about the past? Same deal. If you want to use the masu will be kakimashita. Kaku, kakimashita. Okay. What else? Plain past. The plain past, pretty simple. What you're gonna do is the ku is gonna still become an I. The ku is going to still become an I, but you're going to just add a ta after that. A ta. So kaku becomes kaita. Kiku, kita. Iku, ita. 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 So that's what it is. That's it. Those are the tenses. Just get a little practice with them, and yeah, you'll be all right. Now, I said I was going to show you one more thing with the experience construction here. Now, I've noticed a lot of people, they have some problems trying to talk about experiences. Okay, what I mean by that is you say you've done this before, you've done that before. So in Japanese, it's basically koto ga aru. Koto ga aru. This is the plain construction. Koto ga aru. That means you have experienced something. So what you want to do is when you say you've done something before, whatever the verb is, you have to put that in the plain past. I repeat, whenever you say you experienced something or you haven't experienced, whatever the verb is, it has to be in the plain past. I'll give you an example. Let's take the most popular, iku. Okay, iku, which means going or going to go or go in general. And you want to say, I have been to Japan. So we just talked about the plain past, which was ita, right? Ita. That means went. It's in the plain past. So if I want to say something like I have been to Japan, I will say okay? So, 私は日本に行ったことがあります。私は日本に行ったことがあります。I have been to Japan before. I've had that experience of going to Japan. So as you can see, this here, this ita, is the plain past. Okay? Plain past, ita. Ita. And then the koto ga arimasu. Koto ga aru. That construction I told you about. So this is what you got to do when you say you experience something. It has to be plain past. It has to be plain past. Okay, plain past plus this koto ga arimasu. That's how you do it. So if you experience it, you put the verb in the plain past plus koto ga arimasu. Alright, and that happens with all the verbs. Same thing. If you haven't been there before, you just change this from koto ga arimasu will be koto ga arimasen. And that means not to have. You haven't had experience. So watashi wa Nihon ni itta koto ga arimasen. I have never been to Japan. Okay. So that's going to conclude this video. I just wanted to make this video for one of my subscribers. He just started learning. He just started learning Japanese, and he was confused on the tenses. He wanted to, he wanted me to show him some stuff on the tenses. So here you are, the tenses. I showed you some past tenses, future tenses, and present ongoing. It's pretty simple. All you need to do is just practice a little bit. You'll get used to it. So. This will conclude this video. And if any of you guys have any questions, just let me know. Any video requests, just let me know, and I'll get back to those as ASAP. Thanks for viewing the video, and I look forward to any questions or comments. See you guys soon.